Welcome to Embrace Your Spiritual Powers with I Am. Your host, Shangela Pierce, a spiritual healer from Sedona, and her guides, I Am, are here to reacquaint you with the miraculous spiritual powers you were born with. You can manifest health, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Join us today as you begin a new journey of enlightenment. Here is Shangela.
Welcome to Embrace Your Spiritual Powers with I Am. I'm your host, Shangela Pierce. In today's episode, we are going to talk about spiritual guidance for healing. Before we begin, let's talk about joining me and I Am here in Sedona, Arizona for one of our spiritual retreats. If you've ever wanted to come to deepen your awareness and deepen your connection to the divine, then Sedona is the place to be. We offer 1 to 7 day retreats up to 5 people. This is a private retreat tailored for you or your group. If you are feeling this, if you feel inspired and called to this, please visit my website at seekwithinyou.com/spiritual retreats to learn more information. I look forward to seeing you here in Sedona. Intentions. Let's take a moment and set our intentions for today's podcast. What questions do you seek answers for? Take a moment, center yourself, and ask your question. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Inhaling and exhaling, knowing that your questions will be answered. Let it go and allow. Allow it to unfold. Now, the message from I Am. If you believe that science has all the answers, then listen no further. If you believe that the logical mind or the ego can guide you, then listen no further. What we are proposing to you is that spiritual guidance or guidance from the non-physical can help you to heal. Now, what do we mean by spiritual guidance? We mean guidance from the non-physical. Now, you may call it source, you may call it the universe, angels, God, whatever you call it. It is guidance from that which is not physical and is of the highest vibration of love. You, yourself, have a non-physical part of you. You are both physical and non-physical in nature. As such, you have an innate connection to the non-physical. Unfortunately, you have been taught to rely on the logical mind or the ego. You have been taught that if it is not scientifically proven, then it is not valid. You have been taught to fear that which is natural. You have been taught to fear your own instincts. You have been taught to fear what you feel inside of you. You have been taught to fear. We are here to help guide you on that which is best for you, because if you think that science knows it all, think again. If you think that science knows everything that there is to know, think again. There is much in this world that science has not even begun to understand. And that is because it does not take the non-physical into the equation. We are not asking it to. We are only pointing it out. We are here to help those who are ready to listen, to embrace their spiritual power, those who know that there is more than what they've been told. Because if you are listening to this podcast, you are seeking help. You are seeking help with your ailment. You are seeking help because you feel there is something you are missing. If you have not developed a relationship with the non-physical, we encourage you to do so. We highly encourage it. When you are not relying on that which is within you, that innate connection, then you have trouble guiding yourself to what you need for your health. When you have not developed that relationship, you will tend to rely on the thoughts and the words and on the opinions of others. When you have not developed that relationship, you do not trust you and your instincts. Your mind, your logical mind, will have the tendency to take over, and you will doubt. You will doubt what you have been told. You will doubt it to your core, but you don't have to. You can develop that relationship. It is already there. We already communicate with you on a daily basis, on a minute-to-minute basis, but most do not listen. And if they hear, they doubt it and do not go with the guidance. There is too much fear in your society, too much disconnection. We want to assure you that you can never be disconnected to us. It can feel like a disconnection, but in reality, there is none. Learn to embrace us. Learn to embrace who you are. Know that what you need for your healing is undoubtedly different than what someone else needs. Remember, this is a creative world, and thus you have created your disharmony. We do not say this to place blame upon you. We only say this so that you know that what you need is going to be different than what someone else needs, which is why we want you to rely on us, to guide you, to steer you towards what you need. Because we know, how shall we put this, your points of least resistance. We know that there are multiple things, remedies, that will help you. But we know that if you were to take this, you would allow this more than perhaps the next person who has the same ailment as you. We know what it is that you will allow into your healing. Because again, this is about allowing. You must allow the healing to occur. So if you try to rely on the logical mind and are doubting, will this work because I've tried this, because I've tried that, because I've tried all these things, then you'll never get there. But if you can learn to trust, to let go, and allow us to lead you on your journey, you will get there. You can trust in that because we're guiding you to this because you will allow it. It is part of your mindset. You will allow it. Alignment is far more important than what you can ever take. You must allow for the free flow of the energy. If you are wondering how, we've heard you. How do I listen? How do you guide me? Keep listening. We shall answer you. Right now, we are setting the foundation for your true healing. Do not feel you must rush. In time, you will know. You will know us personally. You will treat us as your best friend. You will allow us to be there and to guide you. You will not wait until you are troubled to call upon us. You will call upon us constantly. We want that. We want to develop a two-way conversation with you. Not only are you talking to us, communicating with us regularly, you're also listening. You're listening to us. You're continuing the conversation with us. As we show you one thing, you talk to us again and you get further clarification, and we continue in building your routine, in building your confidence, in building your ability to let go and allow. You need not another to guide you when you have that strong connection to your source. And again, we are not saying totally forget everything you're doing now and totally rely on spiritual guidance. That would be too much for most. What we are saying, however, is that you start this process. We will give you simple tips to start. And as you set the intention that this is what you want for your healing because you know you can be healed, we shall guide you. Start with something simple so that you are not overwhelmed and confused on what you are being guided to. Continue to do as you have been doing, but then start with one thing at a time. Again, not to overwhelm you, but to start the process, the journey, because it's a lifestyle change. This is not something you just do to get healed and then forget about it. This is your life. This is shifting into a new paradigm of how you view health, of how you heal. The time is now. Listen to the voice within you. Trust in your instincts. Let not another tell you that this is ridiculous, that you need science to tell you what you need. You only need that voice from within you. Learn to quiet the ego and the logical mind. Learn to listen to the voice within you, because you can heal. We end with that in peace and love. I am. Thank you, I am, for that lovely message. Spiritual guidance. Yes. I love it, being guided from within. And it can be really challenging to let go and allow something that you can't hold it. You can't hold the non-physical. And when you've been taught to rely on science and being logical about your decisions, really moving into the different paradigm where you're relying on this non-physical entity is quite challenging, and many would say crazy. I took the leap of faith and haven't regretted it since. Was it challenging? Yes, indeed, it was. Does it have to be that challenging for you? No, it does not. It can be as challenging as you allow it to be. If you just learn key steps along the way of how to communicate with your source, it can be a lot easier to do. I just know for me, my background is in science, and so transitioning was very challenging because my ego wanted to control what was happening. It thought it knew everything that there was to know. It doesn't have to be that challenging for you. It just depends on how steeped you are in that mindset. And it didn't even have to be hard for me, but I allowed it to be. Now I teach to really let it go, you know, let go of what you think things should be and start developing that trust. I didn't do it soon enough. And now I can't do anything but advocate to just let go and just allow the non physical to guide you. There's no other way. I mean, of course, there are other ways, but there aren't any that will lead you to full health and full control over who you are and your destiny. I remember, especially in the beginning, quite a few times when I'd get a moment of inspiration and I knew it was from Source. But because I really didn't have that deep connection, the ego took over. And so within a second or so, I'm starting to doubt what I've received, the messages that I've received. And because it's not always logical, the guidance that you're given. And so if you don't have that connection, you will doubt it. You'll start asking your friends, you'll start asking everyone else, you'll get yourself into a point where you're so confused, you don't even know how to act or what to do at that point. That's what the ego, that's what the ego does, right? But it doesn't have to be that way for you. You can really, truly learn to develop that trust. And so let's go ahead and give some practical tips of how you can do that, starting off slow, right? Because you don't want to get yourself too confused. So one thing you can do, really one simple thing you can do, is every day ask your source of the highest vibration of love to send you an inspirational message for whatever you're trying to remedy at this particular moment. So for instance, if let's say you ask your source to send you an inspirational message about people who have healed from that which you desire to be healed from. You can ask your source to show you signs that you are going to heal. You can ask your source to give you messages of gratitude. So you can consciously guide, quote unquote, the conversation so that you know that this is being communicated to you from your source. I find that to be one of the easiest ways to start developing that trust with your source, because if you're guiding the conversation, you know that every time you see a message that's related to healing or whatever you're asking, you know your source is giving you that. That starts to break down those barriers. That starts to let the ego fade away. Another thing that you can do, you can start this now, for those who are ready to go a little bit deeper, ask your source and write it down in your spiritual journal. What is one thing I need to do right now to heal? Write it down. Or whatever it is your question is related to healing, okay? Write it in your journal, set a timer, an alarm to look at it again in a week, right? Just let it go. You may get your answer before the timer goes off, or you may not. But regardless, come back to it in that time frame. And let's say you received your answer. Let's say the answer was to meditate. You received the answer, it was to meditate. Now, continue the conversation. Now, ask your source. If you don't know what type of meditation, ask, well, what type of meditation should I do? Okay, so you're continuing that conversation. And then you write that down and set the timer. Come back within a couple of days, a week, whatever it is, and look at the question. You probably have already received your answer by then, but you may get it at that particular moment. Okay? So Source is going to know the best meditation for you because they know you better than you know yourself. And you can guide the conversation deeper than that. But for now, this shall do. Okay? Just continue to listen to the podcast and we'll get more into detail with that. I do want to finish off with another guided meditation. I also wanted to make note that, yes, we are sharing guided meditations during the podcast. Not necessarily every podcast, but perhaps it shall be that way. We are not necessarily advocating that you do every guided meditation. In the beginning, you may try them to see which one you like, but ultimately, you want to find one that you love the most and do that. Okay? Do that particular meditation. I'm sure we're going to have a podcast specifically dedicated to meditation, but the advice still is the same, is that you want to find one you want to do and you want to do that every day. And ultimately it will evolve over time, but it will be basically the same meditation that continues to evolve. It won't be you doing this meditation for a little bit, this meditation for a little bit, because if you put energy into one type of meditation, whatever that is, as long as you love it, then you're going to deepen into that. You're going to deepen your awareness, okay? So we highly encourage you to find one that you like and to go with that one. In that light, we're going to do a guided meditation for spiritual guidance, of course, and I hope you do enjoy. Sit in a comfortable position. Place a relaxed smile on your face. Close your eyes. Relax. Breathe from your lower abdomen. As you inhale, your lower abdomen expands. As you exhale, your lower abdomen relaxes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. At this time, invite your spiritual guides to join you in this meditation. If you have a question or would like more guidance, take a few moments to do this. If you are waiting on a response from a previous question, give thanks in advance for clearly understanding the communication from your spiritual guides. Now let's do a quick body scan. Starting from your feet all the way to the top of your head. Pay particular attention to your lower back, your shoulders, and your jaw. If any of these areas need relaxing, take a moment and breathe into them. Inhale and exhale. Allow that area to relax. Inhale, exhale, allowing relaxation. Relax your shoulders. Bend your elbows to an approximate 90-degree angle. Place your hands together and rub them vigorously, keeping your shoulders and everything relaxed. We are building energy in your hands. Now spread your hands apart approximately 1 inch so that the palms are facing each other but not touching. Place your awareness on your hands. Bring your focus to your fingertips and the palms of your hands. Just notice if there are any sensations between the palms of your hands. Now inhale and spread your hands apart until you no longer feel that sensation. Exhale and bring your hands back to each other, but not touching. Inhale and spread them apart. Remember to keep your wrists, elbows, and shoulders relaxed. Exhale. Bring them back together. Do this for several more breaths. As you continue to do this, you may start to feel a sensation growing between your hands. Visualize this energy growing between your hands as a ball of light. Now this ball of light can be any color or no color. It can also change colors. Allow the image of the ball to come to you. Inhale and expand this ball of light. Exhale and contract the ball of light. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Inhale, expand the ball of light. Exhale, contract. Now imagine this same ball of light is now surrounding your entire body. As you inhale, this ball of light surrounding you expands. As you exhale, this ball of light contracts around you. Inhale and expand the ball of light around you. Exhale and contract it. Continue this visualization for a moment. Place your focus on your hands again as we create another ball of light. Inhale and expand the ball of light. Exhale and contract. Now this ball of light may be a different color than the first one or no color at all. That is okay. Allow the image of the ball of light to come to you. Again, inhaling and expanding the ball of light. Exhaling and contracting. Do that for a few more breaths. Remembering at any time you find your mind has wandered, come back to the visualization. You are now in the present moment. Now imagine this ball of light now surrounds your entire body. Inhale and expand the ball of light around your entire body. Exhale and contract it. Inhale. Exhale. Do this for several more breaths. Now return your awareness to your hands again. We are creating another ball of light. Inhale and expand the ball of light in your hands. Exhale and contract. This ball of light can be any color or no color. Allow the image of the ball of light to come to you. Inhale, expand the ball of light. Exhale and contract it. Now imagine this ball of light now surrounds your entire body. Inhale, expand the ball of light around your entire body. Exhale and contract it. Inhale, expand the ball of light around your entire body. Exhale and contract it. Do this for several more breaths. As you continue to expand and contract the ball of light around your entire body, set your intention for what you desire to experience today. Now release the image of the ball of light, trusting that this ball of light surrounds you throughout the day. Now give thanks to 5 things for which you are grateful for today. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed our guided meditation for spiritual guidance. If you would like to purchase, please visit our online store at seekwithinyou.com/store. Do you feel the call of Sedona? Come join me and I Am for a transformative spiritual retreat. We are calling to you to help you move energy, to help you communicate with the divine, to help you feel more grounded, to help answer your questions. Please visit our site at seekwithinyou.com/spiritual retreats to learn more. We await you in Sedona. Thank you again for joining me for another episode of Embrace Your Spiritual Powers with I Am. And join us next week for another episode. In peace and love. Namaste.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed receiving your messages for your spiritual healing. Join us next week for more amazing information that will help you manifest health beyond your wildest dreams. For more inspiration and guidance from I Am, please visit www.seekwithinyou.com.